Lords of Vegas is a very easy game. So when you're setting up, you're going to take the game over card and set it aside. Everybody's going to get 2 of these cards to start the game at random, and they will gain the money listed on the 2 cards. So in this case, I would get $8 and 14. After the start of the game, these numbers mean absolutely nothing. Then I will put 2 of my tiddlywinks on, one on F3 and one on E2. So I would put one on E2 and one on F3. And then these cards will go over here to the side and just showcasing that they've been played. Now all the players will do that, and you'll have different of these tiddlywinks on the board. And then what you'll do is you'll take these cards, and I'm just going to do it quickly, and you're going to break up the stack of cards into 4 equal decks. And you're going to take this, the game over strip card and put it on top of one of the decks. Then you put the other decks on top of that. So you know the game will end before the last 25% of the cards are played. So you know 25% of the cards won't be played. So when these cards come out and you're looking at this, you never really know if something's going to be played or not. And that's just one of those things in this where you're going to be rolling the dice, so to speak, playing the odds and trying to win. So on your turn, what you'll do is you'll flip this card over. And everybody will be paid. So for every tiddlywink that you have on the board, you will get $1 million. So since I have 2, I would get $2 million from the bank. And then the gray casinos will play out. If there's any gray casinos on the board, everybody who has a dice in it will get paid $1 million for every pip. And if you're the boss of it, then you're going to get victory points for however big that casino is. So let me kind of show you how that works. So let me progress through the game and kind of show you what your actions will do, and I'll come back to one of those cards. So in this case, what you can do on a turn is you can build. You can place 1 tile and 1 of your dice on one of your lots. Okay, and the cost is listed. So I have this. It has my tiddlywink. You can only build where you have one of your tiddlywinks. So what I would do is I would pay $6 million, because that's what's printed on the board, take my tiddlywink away, and I can pick whatever color that I want. So let's say I wanted to make this a gray. And then I would take my die and I would put it on the number 2 inside the casino. The reason why I would put number 2 is because there's a number 2 dice. If I had built here by happenstance, then I'd be able to put a 5 out. Okay. Let's say as the game progressed, my opponent was able to build a gray one here, and they put a 5 out, because that's what it is right here, is a 5. Now, if this card at the beginning of a turn was played, a silver card, then I would get $2 million. My opponent would get $5 million. But my opponent, because gray was played, would get 2 victory points. 1, 2, because that's how big it is. And because their number is bigger than mine, they get the victory points. If there's ever a tie between these 2 numbers, you just roll them until there's not a tie any longer. So that's kind of how that's going to work. And you can just build. The next thing you can do is you can sprawl. So if you are the boss, you can sprawl. And the way you can do that, remember, you can only build if you have a tiddlywink. And the only way you can put a tiddlywink out is if this card is drawn on your turn. So if the E6 card was drawn on my turn, I would get to put a tiddlywink out there. But I can also sprawl if I'm the boss. So what I can do is pay double the money. I'd pay $40 million, and then the red could put a die out there. Once again, you put a 6 because a 6 is there. So he has sprawled. If you look on your card, sprawl. Place 1 tile and 1 of your dice on an unowned lot. I mean, there's no tiddlywink there. And you pay twice the cost. You can only do it if you're the boss. So now, if the gray card was to come up, red would get 11 million, yellow would get 2, and red would get 3 victory points. 1, 2, 3. Diagonal doesn't count unless there's something's orthogonal to it. If I had built a yellow one here, now it was set like this with the yellow one, and gray came up. Once again, red would get 11, yellow would get 2 for this, and red would get 3. Gold would get nothing. Just to bring the pile home, if gold had come up as the card, then yellow would get 3 and get 1 victory point. The third option is to remodel. So let's say yellow, for some reason, it wouldn't make a lot of sense on this, but wanted to change the colors. I could pay 5, because yellow is part of gray, I can change the gray to gold by paying 5, 10, 15, $5 per. And I would just take these off. If you change it, you have to change all of them. And I would put a gold around it. Now, in reality, I wouldn't have done that because that would have made red owner of all this. But just for example, that's what can happen. So you can remodel. Change the color of all the tiles in casino for $5 per tile, but you have to be the boss. So, you know, red could have done that because they were the boss, and they might want to do that to take advantage of this one right here. You can reorganize. You can reroll all the dice. You have to have one die there. And it costs $1 per pip. So if yellow is looking at this and they're saying, you know what, red's got this, man. They really locked me down. They could pay 6, 5 is 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, $16 million. They can take their dice, re-roll them all. Now, because red is tied, but it's the same color, you don't have to re-roll. But let's say they would have rolled like a 5 here instead of what they had rolled. Then yellow would become the boss. So there's a little bit of risk in that. And the more dice you have, so, you know, if red would have had 3 dice to 1, the red's odds would have been better. So that's reorganize. You can always gamble. You can only just once per turn, and you can gamble up to $5 per tile. So let's say I was yellow and I wanted to go to, because red is the, let's say red is the boss here, and yellow want to go to red and gamble. They can gamble. And they can bet up to $5 per tile. So I could bet up to $20 here. And you would roll 2 dice. And if you win on 2, 3, 4, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And I think the book says there's a 56% chance that the house will win. So he would win on 5, 6, 7, 8. But he has to pay double on 2, 12. So what he can do is I can put $20 down or up to $20. And if I win, I get $20 from red. And if red wins, they take my 20. Well, red also has a decision. Before I roll the dice, they can do what's called a lay off. So they're only on the hook for half of the money I bet. But if they win, they only win half the money. So that's how the game will go. You will, on a turn, and you can do as many of these actions as you can afford to do or choose to do. Build, sprawl, remodel, reorganize, and gamble. So where the game gets a little tricky, if you look here across, victory point goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and there's a 2 here. Well, if you only had a 1 casino right here, and red got to 8, and gold came out and scored, and he got 1 point, he can't move up to 10 because there's no 9. And if you look up here, it'll get even more expensive, 3, and then all the way at the top, you'll see 4s. So the game really kind of pushes you to start building these bigger casinos. Now, let's say you had a 3, and red had a 3 here, and he was going on the 8. Well, he can only score 2 points for a 3 because it would cost 2 more to get here. So you have to really kind of plan out what you're doing and whether you're wasting points or not. And then over here on this side of the board is where the cards will be coming out, and you'll be placing the cards as they're played. So you'll be able to see if there's like a whole bunch of gold cards that have already been played, well, the chance of another gold coming out will be less and less. Now at the top you'll see the strip. Now if a strip card comes out, then it will pay everything on the strip, and they'll kind of look like this. That means any casino that touches the strip, so this whole casino right here and this casino right here would pay out. But if there was a casino like over here and it didn't connect to the strip, it wouldn't pay out. So there's 4 of these in the deck, including the last card. So the end of the game, everything on the strip will score again. So being on the strip is highly valuable, and you'll see it 15, 12, 20, 15, 12, 20. It's much more expensive to build in the strip. Right here, it's like a 6, 6, 9, 9, 6, 9. So it's much more valuable to build in the strip, and you'll see a lot of people competing for those spots. So let me reiterate what a game turn is now that I've kind of explained everything to you. On your turn, you'll flip over a card, and you'll put a tiddlywink on the A2, which will be on the board. So that would be right here. And that means only you can build on this spot now. Now, if somebody had sprawled on that spot, remember, they can sprawl if they're next to it and they're boss of a casino, but that card hasn't been played yet, then you immediately take that casino right there. And then what you'll do is everybody will get paid for whatever tiddlywinks they have. So whatever real estate they own, they'll get $1 for each. It's the least amount of way to get paid. So you'll get $1. And then if you own a purple casino, if you have a dice in a purple casino, then you will get $1 for each pip that is there. And then whoever's the boss of purple casinos will get victory points for that. Okay, so then you'll put this card aside that it's already been played. And then on your turn, you will build casinos, sprawl, remodel, reorganize, or gamble in any order that you want, as much as you want, to try to build those casinos out, hoping that the next card will pay off for your casino. and that's what you're doing. So there's quite a bit of luck in. There's luck in, you know, reorganizing it, rolling these dice. There's luck in the cards coming up. Okay, now I have this real estate of A6. Oh, that's a good spot. I can build there. And then the card coming up that will pay off for your casinos. And sometimes you can build a really great casino. If the number just doesn't come up, well, so be it in Vegas. But that's Lords of Vegas. Thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate you tuning in. If you liked it, please like it and hit that little subscribe button. That really helps out the channel. Lets us know that you're getting the videos that you want. If you agreed or disagree with what I said, feel free to comment below. I'd love to hear what you have to say, and I promise that I will comment back. Thanks for watching, and everybody else, keep playing games.